So good morning and welcome to our Thursday morning coffee with Ann Beeson. Ann is with New Readers Press, as I think all of you know, because she has been just a wonderful resource to all of us as we are moving through adding wonderful materials. And today we're going to talk about something that you have had for several years, but not everybody has been using to its fullest capacity. And that's some online programs from New Readers Press for our pre and our GED students. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ann and let her fill you in on what's going on. We're going to have a couple of polls, and here we go. Thanks, Ann.
Oh my gosh. Hi, everyone. I see Stacy's on the line. I just saw you in Texas. That CEA conference. Anyway, anyway, hi, everyone. When Marcia and I talked about this, and we thought, this would just be really a good idea to sort of review for everyone what New Readers Press Online is, because it's accessible for all of you. But I think sometimes when that happens, it isn't always easy to just figure out how to do it. So we're just going to make everything about this so easy if you want to be able to incorporate it into your program. So here's what I'm going to do. Let's see if we can just go through and see if this will work. Hang on one second. Okay, that worked, it looked like. All right, you got the next slide here. So today's coffee talk, what I'll cover. So what we're gonna do today, or what I'd like to be able to do, is to talk about the two courses that are available through your Wisconsin Literacy membership. And it's New Readers Press Online Learning. There's two courses. There's a GED prep, and there is a pre-HSE or pre-GED prep program. Both are instructional. And then I want to talk a little bit about why you would use something like this. And then I'm going to get a little bit into about how it works, but I'm going to do it kind of generically. So I'll show you a little bit about how the setup is. And then if all goes well and the creeks don't rise, I'm going to go into the actual live software and we'll look at what a student would look at if they're working in a program. And then I want to talk a little bit about training. And I'll just to give you an what I'm thinking about here is, we all know that all of us learn differently. Some people, have a hard time sitting through a presentation or, a webinar when you can't actually do what you want to be able to do. Like if somebody's showing you how to do something, I'm one of those people that likes to actually do it on another screen so I can actually have the experience of doing it. Sometimes I just want to like, don't bug me. Just send me some videos and where's the access to the teacher guide or the user's manual so I can go in and mess around on my own. Or sometimes I just like to just play around and see if I can figure it out on my own. But, and so any one of those things sort of kind of can sometimes stump you depending on what you need. So I'm here at the end to offer training in any format you need. Okay. So if you've staying with this and watching this will probably help, because if you really want to be able to play around with it, and you should because it's free for you, all you have to do is contact me and let me know, and I can get you set up. One way or another, we can get you organized. So that's what today's going to be. Okay, I've got 3 questions for you, and God love Anna, who's set up the poll for this. And the questions are very super simple and it's really kind of for me, so I get a sense of what you are actually working on. So and how you function, so I can customize what I'm saying. So the first question is, if you are a tutor, just click the tutor button. If you are a teacher who works with small and large group, click that button. If you do both, click that button. And then just go ahead and do that now.
And I just want to let everyone know you do have to hit submit after you make your choice.
Oh yeah, bottom right-hand corner is submit.
Is there a reason I'm not seeing the poll?
Because you're a host.
Oh, that would explain it. Thank you.
And then Anna, why don't you hang on 1 second before we go to the next poll, because I'm going to try and see if I can forward the slides.
Sure, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this poll and share the results. And so I'll read them because I know not the other hosts can't see it.
Thank
So
you.
2 of the people on the call are working in tutoring situations, 3 are small and large group, and 3 are both.
Awesome. Okay. If you want to close that, and then let me do the next slide here. Doesn't want me to. I'm right, my screen sharing. There we go. That's question 1. Here's question 2. Okay. If you are currently right now using some kind of online software program with the students, and I said type, so Anna, you can go ahead and put number 2 up for the second poll. So if you use this program right now, some program, whatever it is, say yes, just click yes. If you don't, click no. If you do say yes, it would be really great if you could just quick open up chat and type in what you use. But you don't have to, we kind of want to get a sense of who's comfortable and who really just doesn't use anything online very often. And then once you click, then do submit in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, wow, look at that.
4
Awesome.
said yes, 4 said no.
All right, that is great. Okay, and then if you want to close that, I'll go to the next slide, maybe. There we go. Okay, so
And I am not seeing that your slides are advancing.
Oh, really? I'm not sure why that is. Is that now?
I would stop your share and start your screen share again and see if that. And while you're looking at that, I can just quickly read the chat, what people are saying in here. So BPLA uses IXL. Oh, now you're advanced, Anne. I'll keep reading but you're good. I'll keep reading the chat. So BPLA uses IXL. We also leverage the learning platforms for our tech school partners. Caitlin says Zoom, Google Quizzes, WordWall, Kahoots. Barbara Becker, we switched to teaching, but we still have DCS available to them and a couple people who are using it at home. That's great. So that's the comments we have.
Oh, awesome. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, do you now see why New Readers Press Online Learning? Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so there's what's really great is there's a lot of those names that people are talking about of the programs that they use are, I know that I've sat through a lot of webinars and there's been a lot of people talking about these different sort of ways of material to use that's online, that's accessible anywhere. So that's really good news, because it actually makes things a little bit easier when you look at something like as simple as this. When you look at it. So today it's just going to be really all about this New Readers Press online learning. So I guess the first question is, why would you use it? What's the purpose and the point? And I guess more than anything else, one of the things I always say is just to begin more similar or more comfortable with using computers. Now, having said that, this program is actually on a computer that you can access it, through a website, but it also has an app, and you can actually download the app to a smartphone or a tablet and work on the program that way on the go. And I'll give you more details about that because I know the issue that comes up oftentimes with students is internet connectivity. And sometimes it's a problem for our students, but there's a workaround for that. And I'll get to that when we get to the app part of the program. And then because these particular courses are focused on probably students who are a little bit on the higher end. So we're looking at people who are maybe 6th to 8th grade or higher, 6th grade or higher. And students whose goal are, I guess, primary or first goal would be to try and, get their GED or their high school equivalency. So, and these two programs are designed for students, start with the lower students and working them up to getting ready to actually take the GED test. And they're all inclusive, but I think no one single program really works for everyone, and we all know that. So it's always good to have a variety of resources, and this could be one of them for your students. So that's good. And then finally, we have the ability to, or you have the ability to be able to do some blended learning. So connecting together some online with print. And if you are using New Readers Press materials, the pre-HSE course actually has the resources from the pre-HSE core skills books, or the pre-HSE books. And for the GED course, they come from our GED New Readers Press materials. So Math Sense, writing for the GED test, social studies for the GED, and science for the GED. So all of those things together, actually, you'll find that you can actually go online to print and back and forth, and it's all aligned. Not only that, but New Readers Press has developed sort of a blended learning guide you can use that you can just download, and I'll show you where you can access that in a little bit. Let's see. All right, so, and by the way, I usually tell people this, I'm looking a little bit to the left because I've got a laptop here and a big screen here. So, and the cameras are in here. So just so you know. So when you're using New Readers Press Online Learning, there's so many different ways that you can actually use it. So, you know, if you're doing in a tutoring setting where you're just working one-on-one, I really like the idea of, if you are in person working together, just working together on the same screen and sort of walking through what we're going through, how they're answering questions. When they do answer questions, how did they come to those answers? Because that'll give you a lot of information too as an instructor, as how they're thinking when they're answering questions. If you are unable, if you're doing tutoring and you're doing it online, it's really easy to share the screen on someone's course and simply go through the same process through a Zoom meeting and actually just share the screen with their account pulled up. So it's really nice to do. If you're doing it in a classroom setting, to pull up the program and project it on the, you know, either on a whiteboard. If you put it on a whiteboard, that's cool, because then you can manipulate it right there. But if you can just do it with a projector, you can just do it on the wall and walk your way through. Sometimes we do pieces of the online program, maybe the introductory part, and then we go off into different avenues on what the student needs. So for example, you might have students at both levels, GED and pre-GED, who need something as simple as, you know, finding the main idea. And you can actually do the instructional part, you know, and use it as your main, we're doing it as a group. And then from there, students can go off and work wherever they need to do. So maybe it's finding the main idea in social studies at pre-HSE, or maybe it's finding the main idea in RLA, in GED, you know. So that's the thing that's kind of neat about having access to both of these programs for your students. And if you're working in any kind of environment at all, whether, you know, whether it's both environments, you know, this is actually a fun way to do sort of some warm-up activities. So it could be, maybe your warm-up activities is working with the flashcards, or trying to, you know, achieve one of the achievement badges that are available in the software, you know, as just getting people comfortable for what your plan is for the day. You may want to even consider using it 15 to 25 minutes at the end of, you know, 15 to 25 minutes at the end of your class. Because if you get them into it and interested, it gets them a little bit more motivated to pop up the app on their smartphone and to continue working on it when they leave. You know, and that's always the thing you want to be able to do, is make sure that the students keep working. And, you know, and then it could also just simply be homework for the students. You know, when you're done, work on this particular program. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah. Are you seeing the app? I just want to make sure everybody can see the NRP Online Learning app. Nod. Perfect. Okay. So there's two different apps that are out there. There's one for iPhones and there's one for Androids. And I can just, if you're interested in that at all for your students, when we set that up, we usually send you all that information on making sure how to download that and get those apps correctly. Your students, I don't know, if I was doing this right now, my students would probably teach me how to, you know, download the app. It's pretty easy. But it allows the students to access their work on the go, and it solves that problem of, we want them to keep working on it, but we really don't want to give them a book because we're afraid it'll walk away. right? You'll never see it again. So this gets around that problem. They can just access it anytime they like. And then the part that I think is actually pretty cool is it was one of my colleagues in Georgia who sells down in that territory and figured this out, and we were like, yay! You can actually open up the app, go to the settings. Well, actually do your settings first on your phone and work on airplane mode. This is for a student who doesn't have internet access. So if you go in, if they want to then just, work on the program, they can work on their smartphone without having internet access. The only deal is when they're done, they do need at some point to access the internet and then open up the app so the information is uploaded to the main program so that the instructors can see how you've done. But you can do that wherever you can access free Wi-Fi. So, Starbucks, McDonald's, wherever there is Wi-Fi, the library, for sure. You can be able to, do it at that point. So it's a really neat solution for students who may have, trouble, or they don't want to use up a lot of data if they have a data plan that's an issue. Okay, I wanted to pull this up because, if you, many of you have already figured out that there's a lot of free resources. One of the things that I like here is, or I think needs to be adjusted, is this word that says additional resources. That should actually be called free resources. I'm trying to get them to change the word because, it's free. So what I did was I went in onto the website, the New Readers Press website, and clicked on digital learning, and I selected New Readers Press online learning, and then I selected the pre-HSC course. And then I scrolled all the way down to the bottom, and this is what I see on the screen. So you can see there's a quick start for institutional administrators, and that will be actually most of you. The comprehensive user guide is here. You won't need this for district administrators because we have the software set up in a fairly simple way. And then here's a quick start guide for instructors. So if you don't want to look at the gigantic manual that has tons of stuff and you just want to say, hey, how do we do this? That's how you get going. There's some basic, here's the link here for the blended learning guide that was put together. It's beautiful. It has, a template for lesson plans, and it's got some lesson plans on how to do blended learning, which is outstanding for your students. And then there are some crosswalks too. A number of you have, when you are having to report what you're doing, whether it's a lesson plan or, hey, I'm working with these students or this class, I have to say what I've done today, and most people do it in a lesson plan format. But you may want some information about how the material in the software program is aligned to college and career readiness standards, TABE standards, CASAS goal standards, whatever they are. All that information is here. And actually one tab over up at the top here, you can see additional resources. These are all separate tabs. If you just click on correlation when you're on the live website, you'll see all of the different ways that New Readers Press online learning is correlated to a number of different standards. Okay, and then so you can see how this all is. Oh, here's your the very last one is the online learning blended learning lesson plan template. So if you like doing it and you want to mess around with it, it's a great thing to be able to complete for your students. All right, let's kind of go ahead here. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to do two things. We're going to just do some screenshots of what the program looks like, and then we're going to go live into the student program. But I wanted you to see what it looked like when you as an instructor logged in. Oh, and by the way, I'll say this again later, but if this is interesting and you want to play with it, all you have to do is email me and say, hey, I want to get on the program, okay? And then I'll set you up as an instructor and then send you the information so you can actually go in and play on your own. Or if you just, we can figure out if there's any kind of, you want to do a quick Zoom walkthrough so you can set up what you need to do. It might be a good idea the first time, just because the Wisconsin Literacy account covers the whole state, all the agencies that are involved. And so I want to be able to just give you some pointers on what to look for and how to do what you need to do. So just always remember, just contact me, either phone or email. Oh, and one other issue. I'm having a major problem with my email address, and it has to do with internet filtering at email servers. Like, I think it doesn't like the word adult in my email address. So just so you know, I'm in the process of setting up an additional email address that will actually be connected with ProLiteracy. It'll be abson@proliteracy.org. And as soon as I have that, I'll get that out to all of you, so you know that if I don't ever respond to you within, I'd say safely 12 hours, because I'm way fast. If I don't respond, it means that email never got to me, or I got it and I emailed you back and it's stuck in your it's stuck in a filter. Okay, so just so you know, that's kind of going on. So here we go. This is when you first log in, you go to the onlinelearning.newreaderspress.com is the login for this program. And don't worry about remembering it. It's pretty easy you can get it right from the website too. But really all you're going to do is click on the login button. And at that point, and then you're going to fill out, your email address and then your password. And then from there, the program will open up and look like this. One second, I got to move you guys over. There we go. Okay, so I just took little snippets of it because if you do it any bigger and get a bigger picture, it's hard to actually read. So just really quickly, when you log in, it'll automatically start out at classes, which is a good thing for you because as you log into the program, you want to select your class. And your class usually shows up right here on this list here. So, and usually you will probably just have one class, but for larger agencies where you've got a number of students, I don't see any problem at all using, setting up more than one class. Usually I like to connect it through a teacher because it makes it a little bit easier in a large program, or we just simply call it the name of your agency. So however you want to do it is fine. And then as you go down here, this is as simple as it is. You can click here and see what your instructors are. This is the list of the students. Now I'm using examples from my demo account that I've set up, just so this is not what Wisconsin Literacy's accounts looks like right now. The number of administrators that are in here, and then different settings you want to set. So this will allow you to do this. If we're in classes, it doesn't matter where you are, there's always going to be a blue button that shows up that tells you this is what I want to be able to do. So if I'm under classes, most likely if I want to do something new, it's a new class. And it's literally a walkthrough. Name your class, set it up, add an instructor, add students, and you're good to go. All of that can be done it's in manual format. I can walk you through, and it's also some directions too that you can take if you want to follow that, and a video as well. So it's actually pretty simple. The drop-down menu here actually allows you to change some of the material, like to log out, to go to the administrator end where you want to look at reporting, because that's kind of an important part of what we do, is being able to see how our students are doing, whether it's on the student level or an aggregate version. And then let's see, there is some communication that happens right here. If a teacher can send a message to a class or to an individual student through this program. So if, we're going to be closed this Friday, or it's a snow day, sorry, I didn't mean to say that word right now, not yet. Or, you want to contact something, let a student know to do, you set up a curriculum for them and you want them to work on it. You can use that if you want. And then there's two other things that are kind of really neat about what your access is as an instructor. You can actually go directly into the program itself, because as up here, in the drop-down menu, there's a word that says study. That's going to just take you to a general one. I'm a big fan of doing my courses. And if you click on the drop-down menu, it will tell you all the courses you have. So when we set you up, if you want access to the GED and the pre-GED program, I can set that up for you, get you set up. And then when you do your drop-down menu, and I'll go to the next slide because I think I captured a picture of what that looks like. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is what the student list looks like. You can see all the students that are actually here in the program. You can see what their name, their email, if their access status. So what we kind of always look for is the word pending. Pending means that the student is not yet signed into the program. If they're valid, it means they've gone into the program and they've worked in it. And then it tells you what the first login date and the expiration date of the contract is there as well. Let me go to the next one. Okay, so this is just a picture. Sort of worked. But I clicked on the drop-down menu and it gave me all these options. Now you see HiSET here. That's because I have access to another program that doesn't apply to Wisconsin because you guys don't do the HiSET test. But you can see all the different programs that are here. All the pre-HSE programs are here and the GED math. And then what I've done here is with the arrow is if you click on this drop-down menu, this menu comes up. And then what I'm going to do is actually go to the pre-HSE social studies. So I'm going to click onto the next screen. And when I log in as I'm going in to look in, this is exactly what a student looks like when they log in. So you can see it's set up a little bit different on the menu on the left-hand side. Just to give you an eyeball of what this kind of looks like. You'll always come in as at the home place. And so you can see if you want to look at your course, this will give you a listing, all the games that are available here. And by the way, they're all vocabulary games. So you're always learning, no matter what you're doing. Discussions, you can set up discussions among your students or among your class. So if you want to set that up, that's more of a if you want to do more in-depth training, we can cover that for that. If you just want to see what the lessons are. So remember, we've signed in on like as an instructor or administrator. So, you know, what you would look like here. So sometimes what you want to do is go in as the student because I want to see what the whole listing of what all the lessons are, say in social studies, because what we want to do is concentrate on, you know, the Industrial Revolution or, you know, the U.S., how we're starting the U.S., the, you know, Civil War, any kind of thing. So you can go through and find that, or maybe we want to do, you know, geography. Any one of those information, you can use the lessons to locate where you want to go, or maybe where you want a student to start. Flashcards, you just click here to do that. And there are flashcards for the whole program. And there's also subset flashcards for each one of the lesson areas. And you have the ability to create custom flashcards, which is a wonderful thing. Practice questions and tests are here. We kind of try and tell students to stay away from going here because if they just work through the program, they'll get to those tests, including the intro test, the pre-test at the beginning, and then unit tests as they go along. But we want to have it there because if you click on the tests, you can see how you've done on your tests so far. So it gives a student an idea, the ability to see what it is they've done and if they've been improving along the way. Just the eyeball on how it's set up here. This, I think, or excuse me, I'm using on the other screen. Here we go. Right here, this 92 days, what I had done was gone in and said, I want to be done with this social studies pre-HSE course by December 1st. And I set a date. And by doing that, what the program automatically does is identifies how many knowledge points you need to gain each day in order to hit that goal, which is finishing by December 1st. And then as I work in the program, I'll start to build progress and it'll start to fill until I finish it here. Just so you know what a knowledge point is, it's pretty simple. It's roughly about a minute for every knowledge point. So, you know, today, if I want to finish by December 1st, I want to be able to get 16 knowledge points and work for about, you know, probably 15 to 20 minutes today, because you always want them to go a couple more minutes, just a few more, you know, because it'll help you get there faster. All right, so let me see. Down below are all your games. If you worked on some of the games, what your scores are. If you want to play them, you can click on them here. And then I cut it off a little bit. Let's see if I can get at this. Achievement badges right here. They're pretty goofy and they're pretty fun. You just click on them and you can go to it. And then if you want to work on any of them, you can do that. So, okay, I think, oh, this is just perfect. Anna, I may need your help a little bit. I think I can probably do this.
I'm ready.
All right. I think I might be able to just do it on my own. Go figure. All right, let's see how this works. You seeing the program? Oops, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Try that one more time. There we go. Okay, does everybody see the 64?
Yes.
Hooray, I love when that moves. Okay, okay. We're in the live program. Yay. Okay, so I may have played around with the program earlier this morning. You can kind of see because this is actually, I did a couple things on this exact same page. So you know how I was sitting at different days? I thought, you know what? I don't want to finish by December 1st. I went in and I changed the date. So by doing that, all I did was I clicked here and changed the date by, I could just click the drop-down menu to a different time, you know, and say I want to finish by October 31st, and then I set the deadline. And now it's changed. And it tells me now how many knowledge points I need to do a day. And if I do that, then I will finish by October 31st. Now, I did a little craziness this morning. I did work on a pretest, but I want to give you just a visual of kind of what things look like. But first, when a student first comes into the program and logs in, this blue bar is the thing that really actually helps them guide what they do, because it always picks you up where you left off. So this morning, what I did was I did the intro course that taught me how New Readers Press Online Learning works. So I knew how to navigate through it, and that's a short little lesson for every student for every subject. And they can zip through it once they understand how it works. But if you're the first time in and you go to math, you want to have that there. So it's there for all the subject areas. And then once you go through the walkthrough, it kind of tells you how to work through different things. Then it's going to automatically take you to the next thing. So what I did this morning was I did that introductory course, and I took the social studies pretest by, I'd call it Christmas treeing it. Like I just guessed, I didn't want, there was a couple I tried, I'm going to get these right, but I really wanted to try and get most of them wrong. So, I kind of knew that there was a lot of stuff I needed to work on. So what I would do right now, if I was just going in as a student right now, is I would click on the next button. But remember, we've logged in as me, as an administrator. So I actually have a student program just for me. So I can actually play through it as if my students are playing through with it, which is kind of nice. Just to give you an idea, we're in social studies pre-HSC because this is Marcia's and my favorite place to be, is social studies. So we'll take a look here. We'll click on the course so you can kind of see how it's set up. It's not going to show absolutely everything, but you will see a lot of it because this is just the generic setup. So here you can see a check mark. I did the course introduction and I completed the pre-HSC social studies pretest. And it also tells me how many knowledge points I got for each one of those things. If I click on this, it gives me a little bit more detailed information. So I just want the generic right now. Unit 1 in this area is a total reflection of the pre-HSC course skills books. So it's set up the exact same way. So you'll see it, if you use those books, you'll see it, it emulates it, same content. I'm going to start out with, I've got just some introductory information to do and some objectives to know what I'm going to be learning. And then it starts to break it down by lesson. So I'm under unit 1. Here's the first one, lesson 1. And lesson 1 is geography and geographic tools. Each one of these things, when I do the lesson first, the next activity when I'm done with the lesson is I go to the flashcards and then I go to skills practice, which is practicing questions. You go all the way through. Here's a lesson 2, which is global and US regions. Remember, we're all in geography. We're going down here to natural resources and pollution, climate and weather, globalization, and 11, we've got 7 turning points. Oh, now we've gone into a little bit of world history, lesson 8. And then we've got a little geography and world history put together, and then we do a unit review. That's unit 1. We're done with that. The next thing we go to is unit 2, which is intro. And then we start going into American history. So you kind of see how that's set up. But let's say what I want to do is I want to see a little bit more details. So I'm going to click on lessons because I want to see more information about American history. So I know unit 1 is geography, so I'm just going to scroll right past that. Here's US history. So if I go to lessons here, I can see what is available here. So if I know that I want to go to something having to do with the Industrial Revolution, I got to go forward, or go down, I should say, till we get here. So here we go, lesson 7, industrialization and reform. So here's where I can actually click. And if I want to see what this lesson is all about, I can go ahead and click on it. Or I think you can click, if you want to look at the practice questions with that, you can click here. But I can just click here and open this up. So let's look at a lesson and see how it's set up. I'm watching here to make sure we're perfectly good on time. This is on the Second Industrial Revolution. You know, like everything else, the students have to read. So there's a couple things they can do when they're doing this, and it's pretty neat. The first introduction is like when you're starting any chapter, you read the information. Now they've chunked it a little bit, so you can see, I'm going to scroll up so you can see this is the entire amount of reading that happens in this one chunk. For these words that are highlighted, if you click on them, they will open up. At the pre-HSC level, there is audio. And all you have to do, and I guarantee you I did not set up the connection for audio on this. I'll try clicking in. Did anyone hear that? I didn't think so. Okay, sorry. So it changes back and forth, but it's mostly, it's a man and a woman's voice that goes back and forth. So you can do that. You can also turn it on. I'm going to click up here. I think there is an audio point, but I'm not sure. I have to find that later. So what the students basically are doing is going through and reading this. Then we're looking at the visual. And because it's the introduction to this new section, down below are all the key terms that you need to work on. So if you click on any one of these, you'll be able to see what the definition of every single one of the ones are. And if you need to play the audio to see what the word is, you can do that as well. All right, so let's say I just, I'm functioning like a student now. I'm like, okay, I read this, I pretty much get it. To go on, you can see to the right-hand side, there's rate your confidence. I love this feature. It makes the student say, how well did I learn this? Do I understand this? Like, I totally get this. I completely get this. I would click on high. If I go medium, I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. I should probably read it again. I probably have questions. I would click medium. And then, or if I'm like, I am completely lost. I have no idea what the problem is here, but I'm not getting it. Then you would click on low. Okay, we'll just hit new. But as soon as you click on a button, the continue bar highlights. So students have to click on that every time. And it's really a good thing for them because it makes them start to think about their own learning. And once they can do that, they can better speak to what they need in order to get to where they need to go educationally. So I clicked on continue and got to the next page. Okay, so I'm starting to, my teacher had taught me a little bit about finding the main idea. And I want to work on this and I want to do some work in this. So let's say what I want to do is I would like to do some highlighting. So I click on highlight and then all I'm going to do is click and drag. I'm click and dragging, whoopsie, not everything. There we go, and I'm highlighting. So you can see it's kind of a light yellow that's highlighted, which is kind of good. So that kind of helps me. But as soon as I do that highlighting, it logs it right here at this tab under highlights. So if I ever want to go back and see every highlighting thing that I did, I can click here and it'll click me to exactly to every place I highlighted, which is a wonderful resource. Okay. So I think this is interesting, but this urbanization thing is confusing me. So what I want to do is I want to do a bookmark. I have to go back. Yeah. Okay, I just bookmarked this section, and all I had to do that was to click on this button right here. Now I click on bookmarks, and I can see right here what I did. At some point, if I go in at the beginning and just click on what my bookmarks are, it'll take me everywhere I want to go. So it makes it really easy for a student to be able to, you know, to manage through what they're doing. There's also, if you want to record a note, so need to talk to my instructor about urbanization. And I click on the blue button for add. I now have a note. I click on notes up here. I've given myself a note here, and that's where it's under. Okay. So I love these resources that it's, you know, will be able to help the students, you know, interact with the material that's there. And then as you go through on all of this material, we'll just go ahead and say hi, low on this one because we had a little trouble. Going to the next page. Okay, we're now talking about the progressive era. And this one really is just, we're just doing reading some information. And we're gonna say, yeah, I get that, that's kind of okay. And then as you kind of go down here, now we've gone into guided practice. So we're explaining the information and leaving it out for you, or laying it out for you. The next part is guided instruction. So we're going to walk you through how to understand something, how to answer a question, how to, you know, solve a problem. We do it together, the software and you, or the instructor and the student, as you're working together. We're doing it together. And then, so as you can see, you know, you can choose an answer if you want, select what your answer is, or if you could show a tip if you want, because you're really confused and you don't know how to answer it, it's okay to use the tip. That's why it's there. And then if you want to show the answer, it will show you what the answer is. So the correct answer is B and why the answer is B. Okay. And then again, all of these are recorded, so you can click on it if the student needs it. So that actually helps you from guided instructor. Then you go into the, you know, the practice yourself individually. So it's sort of that, you know, evidence-based reading and, you know, process that will really help students. All right. So this is, that kind of gives you an idea of what this part works, how this part works. It's actually pretty simple once you play around with it, start, you know, maneuvering through it. So what I'm going to do is going to stop sharing. Probably just screen share back to the PowerPoint. I did that. Okay. So I'm going to actually, I'm just want to stop for 1 second before I cover this training part. Does anybody have any questions right now that they can think of that they want to ask? You may have a question you may not want to ask it right now. You can either chat it, type it up in chat if you want, or you can just unmute yourself. You know, I'm counting to 10, right? That's what you're supposed to do, right? Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, so talking about some one-on-one training, or I should say more generically, you know, training in general. I don't want anybody to feel like, you know, like you don't understand something, because I'm one of these people that, I mean, I kind of like technology, but I'm not a rocket scientist in technology. I really have to work on it a lot, you know, to remember how things work and how they function. And, you know, when I feel like something should be there and it's not, and I get frustrated. So, you know I get that way. And sometimes, depending on how the instructor is, you know, it's easier to do it. And sometimes it's more difficult. And sometimes it's just like, leave me alone. I'll just do it on my own. So what I want to offer for you is some free training, and I want you to think about it in any way and shape or form that will help you. And I'll talk about what I know we have right now. So there's me, and for a year and a half when COVID started, even before then, I was doing my own training for my customers when they bought the purchase, or they purchased it, or if they bought or signed up for a free 90-day pilot. I trained people to get them set up to do that. But thank you, Jesus, we have a trainer now, and her name is Rachel Buddy. Rachel's out of Iowa, and she works remotely, and so she does all of her training through Zoom. The fantastic upside of Rachel is that she has been, and I think she actually still teaches a class still at Eastern Iowa Community College. So in adult ed. So she's an adult ed trainer, and she's really gone to town on putting together different ways of getting at the resources and to create some webinars and some videos and things that you can look at. So think about the reason, that's the reason why I asked you up front, when you looked at what was there, what do you like for training? So if you like sort of some one-on-one training where you just want to work with me, or you want to work with Rachel, and trust me, it doesn't matter. So, I'll talk to you and we'll figure out exactly what would work best for you. All you have to do is just reach out to me and let me know. We've got a super simple format. I can even take the information over the phone for you, but it's a form just so that I can guide you in the right direction. And I've also sent that information to all of the consultants. So if you do want some training, I sent that form to all of them. And if you just don't want to mess around with the form, just send me an email, say, hey, I want to do New Readers Press online learning, either for just one student at my agency, or I want to do it for a classroom. It doesn't matter. You'll have access for your students. It's easy. So that's really all you have to do is just, do the form, or just send me an email or reach out to me, and we can get started from there. So there we go. I know that there's some trainings already that have been established by Rachel and by New Readers Press. So the first thing is probably like startup training. And that's a little bit of what I did today. I kind of broke it into two pieces and did a little bit of both. But what you need for startup training is we need to know that you want the program so we can put you in as an instructor. That's the first thing. And as an administrator, so you're able to put in students and set up a class. I will walk you through how to do that. It's pretty simple and pretty easy. And how I like to do it is I like to share the screen and have you do it, and I talk you through it. Because I think that if you physically do it, you'll remember it better. And then, so startup training is usually, it can take a lot less than an hour, depending on how many students. If you just have one student, it's you, we can get it done in 15 minutes probably. But, I want you to get comfortable with it too. Review training. If those of you have maybe played around with it for a little bit, but haven't touched it in a while, and you just kind of want a refresher, we can do that. And I know Rachel has links to all kinds of videos. She also has, some links, like an email with links to different kinds of resources. And then one of the pages I forgot is the manual, all the manuals in the upper left-hand corner of the screen if you're actually in the program. It's there under support. And then there's also administrator training. So if you want to play around with reporting and you want to see the reports of how your class is doing and how your students are doing, easy to do, and she can walk you through it. I usually kind of prefer, especially for Wisconsin Literacy Account, to do some customized training on that, so it's specifically for your class, so that you're not focusing on, oh, I have multiple classes or multiple districts. I don't want you to have to deal with all of that, because you don't deal with it. You need to see reporting for your students in your class. And that's really a kind of a good thing. So that is available if that's something of interest. I usually kind of like administrator training a couple months after you started using the program, so there's data in the system. And guess what? Does anybody have any questions?
Feel free to unmute yourself if you have questions for Anne.
Hi, Glorianne. I finally saw your face.
Yeah.
Okay, who likes my coffee talk, and who likes? I'm trying to get pictures into my PowerPoints because they're so ugly usually. I like this is for Marcia.
I love your coffee one. That is my life. So yes.
There you go. Okay, so you know what? That is That is it. And there's my contact information. There may be a new email soon. So, but this one, you know, like I said, if you send me an email and I don't respond to you within half a day, call me or text me. You can always text me at this number. Just make sure you say who you are because I don't have everybody in my phone. So,
Right, right.
so that I know who you are. But I hope this helps. I'd love to see more people using the product because it's really great and it's really helpful for the students.
This has been amazing, and it was a huge help to me. It brought back a lot of pieces that I'd forgotten. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This was wonderful. Please, everyone, take her up on that offer to do the one-on-one training. I know every one of us learns in a different way, and Ann
Right.
can make it work for you. So again, thank you very much. And we will see you at one of our next Thursday morning coffees. Also, remember, we have our fall conference coming up in early October, and you'll be getting information on that again very soon. So again, thanks, everybody.
Marcia, real
Bye-bye.
quickly, I want to
everyone.
add, I am going
Ann,
to
go
send
ahead.
all of you an email. It's going to have just a real quick survey in it. So please complete the survey. And you may have done the survey before. We're sending it out after every one of our coffee chats. So please make sure you fill it out every time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for reminding us. Okay,
And
thanks, everybody.
Whoops, Marcia,
Go
I have
ahead,
just a quick
Shannon.
reminder of everyone, if you haven't signed up yet for any of our Journey Through Literacy events, that's going on right now. So please sign on and join us. So.
Yep, lots happening. And happy literacy month. So, okay, we'll see you again soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.